have shared part of it, and we wanted to share few information with all the students. And if you have any queries, please feel free to write to us. So Asla, can we go to the next slide, please? Yes. So today, as part of this agenda, we are going to discuss on the concepts. Yeah. So what is on green buildings, about how the movement is happening, because always it's not just about the concept. As a human intuition, we feel good about when things move good, and we think about the success rate. So these all gives us a confidence to get into that and how this is happening. So we are going to talk about how the green building movement is happening in the country. Of course, the green education, you all are the students. So education is not restricted to just students, but it's an ongoing throughout the process in us. So what are the things we are taking part as part of the green education we are going to address? And also a few concepts on the green buildings we are going to address, because we have short time. We are not getting too much detail, but definitely we'd like to keep it brief. Next slide, Asha. So coming to the requirement, as we have discussed, we are going to discuss today on the green buildings. And for this, definitely, I think we need to have the understanding on why sustainable development is required. So if you see nowadays, even as part of curriculum or as part of the government policies, and everywhere we talk about the environment protection, reducing the global warming, and even the recent COP, we have our government has taken initiative, and they have committed that India will be neutralizing the carbon and reducing the carbon emissions. So if you see the current demand, yes, India is one of the populated country, and it's on the top two. So as we all know, at the same time, the rapid urbanization is happening as part of our population is increasing. So more and more people are moving out to the urbanization. Yes, it may be because of their livelihood and their requirement for the urbanization and all. So they say that 400 million people will be more added to our urban cities by 2050. And there are so many people come to the cities. Definitely they would require the infrastructure requirement for them. So when I say infrastructure, it can be the corridors, roads, metro rails. So there is much more requirement for them. And housing for all. So yes, definitely we say that yes, the people require roti kapda makan. So when we think about housing, so much of population is moving to the urban cities, they would require housing. So the lot of surveys, again, they indicate that by next year they require 10 million new urban homes if the same way the urbanization is increasing. And of course, last 1.5 years we had a COVID thing, but still the commercial space increasing, the new companies are coming up on, startups are coming up on. So they say that there is a requirement for the commercial spaces also in the cities. This is one side of the coin. So let us see the next part of the coin, where you see, yes, I need not say that urbanization is, I'm not saying it is bad. Definitely it is required. We have to be a developing country. We are a developing country and we have to develop. So when there is demand for it, I can't say that, okay, because I'm doing bad to the pollution, let me reduce my demand. That is not the argument which we are going to have. Even for you as an architect, you are going to later being practicing. Because, okay, if I consume a lot of energy, lot of water and all, if air conditioning is there, it is going to have impact. Let me design the buildings which doesn't have air conditioning. It doesn't work out like that, because you have to go with your client requirement. So when it comes to the depletion side, because of these, there is a rapid depletion of natural resources. Oil, we all know the petrol rates are increasing. The ores are the coal is getting reduced. There is a lot of stress on water. We all agree, yes, it's a global challenge, in fact, to address about the water. And because of urbanization, the green cover is reducing. So there is lot of, you can see only the concrete jungles are being come up, and there is no greenery. And because of that, there is no habitat within our cities, and lot of pollution and depleting the air quality. So these demand is required, but at the same time, we are having depletion issue also. So to come up with a balance in the both the demand and the depletion, Asla, next thing. So we are coming to the sustainable development. Yes, our sustainable development, we are talking about the using the resources. Yes, we will not say no to the demand. Demand will be there. Development is required. You will be using the resources, but at the same time, we'll use them in a conservatively and try to protect them, so that for our future generations, we are not going to deprive these resources. So that is what the balance we are trying to get through our sustainable development. That is a need, and definitely we need to take it forward. So coming to said that why it is required. So let me talk about the green building as a definition. You all, yes, nowadays the sustainability and the green buildings are all are becoming part of the curriculum itself in academics. You would have heard lot of uh, initiatives about the green buildings. So when we define about green building from our side, we would like to define it as the green building is the one which conserves the natural resources, uses less water, optimizes the energy efficiency, generates less waste, and provides healthy space. So when we are talking about all the challenges, conserving our natural resources, and at the same time making our space more comfortable for our people, that is what main intention or our goal will be in our when we are designing our buildings. So next one, Asla. So when you compare, what are the differences between the green building to the conventional building? Is it appearance wise? No, appearance wise they look same. Or is it in a usage wise? So even the usage will not change if it is a conventional building or the green building. The differences comes on operational savings from day one. So that is what majorly we are going to make it difference. So operational savings in the sense energy savings, water savings and all. And also we are going to make the space more comfortable and making them more productive in our buildings. So that is about definition. So let me get on to the how the movement is happening in the country. So yes, we are from IGBC, as Sir also has introduced in, from me. So IGBC is Indian Green Building Council, and which is part of Confederation of Indian Industry, which is more than 125 years old organization. And CI works towards the industry development. As the construction industry is growing rapidly, so we have established this IGBC in 2001, so that the construction industry which is developing in the country should go in a sustainable way. So we have established in 2001 and we have been taking it forward. And earlier slide, Asla. So this is before we get into the preaching it, we thought we should practice it. So that's where this first building, CI Green Business Center, has come up. So this is green building, first green build in the country, and this is a platinum rated building. And we have implemented many green measures as part of it. So I take this opportunity to invite you all. So whenever you're in Hyderabad, you can definitely visit our center. We would like to take you around the building and show you the measures we have implemented. So with the this building has come up, and that's how the green building movement has started. And next slide. So we have been further, not only stopped there being up to the platinum rated in 2003 we got it, but later we have moved on net zero as well. So just 2 years back we have also become net zero energy platinum rated building. Again, with the current global trend where we are trying to reduce the carbon emissions or becoming in the net zero. So IGBC has tried to do that by installing more bifacial solar panels, and whatever we are using, we have become the net zero energy platinum. Next slide. So the moment, as I said, the first building is 20,000 square foot building when we started. Now we have about 7,000 plus projects going green and 7.97, nearly 8 billion square foot of green building footprint, which is making India on top three in terms of the green building footprint. So yes, maybe, yeah, sometimes we feel that if you compare to the construction which is happening in the country, this is definitely less. They are small percentages, but definitely as we move on and we see this is going to make more and more green buildings will become a norm and everybody will be implementing these measures. Next slide. So as the movement has increased, people, it's not that one rating system was sufficient. So being in a council, we developed the rating system or the guidelines where people can refer and try to implement the rating system. So initially there was only one rating system, but as the movement increased, there was a demand from the market that for each individual building sector, because we can't compare a residence to a commercial building or a hospital building to a school building. Everything has its own unique aspects. So we have 30 rating systems addressing the various building typologies and categories. So that according to the building typology, they can refer the guidelines and they can get it implement and get certified. Next slide. So as part of the green building rating system, these are the major concepts we cover. In fact, green buildings, if you relate to the sustainability, so when we say sustainability, it has to cover all the aspects. It should be a holistic approach. That's what we are trying to do in our green building guidelines or the rating systems, whatever we are developing. It's in a holistic approach. So starting from your design stage to the your construction stage and to the operation and maintenance of the building. So complete life cycle of the building has been considered. And when I said as in a building, it's not just I'm going to talk about the how I'm going to consume my energy or water. Again, it's complete assessment or the holistic approach, starting from your site planning, how you're going to consume water, how you're reducing your energy use, what kind of materials you're choosing, and how you're improving your indoors. So covering all these holistic approach, we have taken the 5 modules are majorly there in the green building criteria. So we have site selection and planning, we have water conservation, energy efficiency, building materials and resources, and indoor environmental quality as major 5 modules. Under each of the thing, of course, there are multiple concepts. I'll be not able to definitely take part of today's just short thing. We have huge concepts under each module to be addressed. And coming to the next part, this is again relating to the earlier when I showed movement, I said that these numbers may be not huge, but and at the same time, in your career also, it happens to everyone. Sometimes we might feel that whatever I'm doing, whether really I'm doing good, really it is making impact, because you will see so much of construction is happening. If my building, some tens of buildings I'm handling at a time, are they going to definitely impact on it? So to answer that query, I have this slide to show you on. So we have surveyed few 1900 plus projects, certified projects, which has been already implemented, and what are the benefits they have got. I would like to show you the impact they have created. These 1900 plus projects, they are able to save about 8 billion units of power per year. So when I say that this 8 billion units, generally it is equal to the 10 million urban homes power requirement. So much of the energy has been conserved by these buildings. So, and in terms of water, 26 billion liters of water has been saved, which is equal to the urban city like Hyderabad 1 month water requirement. So much of water, we talk about water crises and all. So about just some 2000 projects are able to save so much. So if you take every project implements this, you can see how much potential it has on. And about carbon emissions, because we are talking about reducing the carbon neutral, becoming net zero and all positive from our government perspective, or UN nations are talking about it. So, and every year automobiles, they market saying that we have sold millions of cars this year. So, and obviously they'll be generating a lot of pollution. These buildings were able to reduce about 8 million tons of carbon emissions to the environment. And about waste handling is one of the important and difficult challenge which is the country or the municipalities are facing. So about 2.5 megatons and 3 lakh tons of organic waste being sent to the landfills and creating pollution to the environment has been reduced. And there is clean form of energy, 600 megawatt of renewable energy has been installed by these green buildings. So this slide, you can see as in the numbers, your answer to the query. Sometimes I feel a lot of times people ask us as a professional or even the developer asks, my neighborhood buildings, some 10 to 20 buildings are not doing the green way I'm going to do. But is it enough if I do? For that answer, for your client or for your own, for answering for you. So you'll be handling hundreds of projects in your career. You can see how much impact they can create. So every one of us, if they implement, definitely we are going to make the difference to the society and to the environment. And so from government side also, yes, they are encouraging the green buildings by providing the incentives. So there are providing additional FAR. So you all are architects, as you know, for certain site area, we have a certain restriction on the built up area. So for developers, they're giving additional FAR incentives so that they can build more and sell more. Property tax rebates are there. So from government side, so they are also encouraging the developers to go green so that we have good environment and going forward. And so let me just give a few slides on the green education and career opportunities for you also. So as on to the next one, Asla. So I've shown you the green building movement is increasing. Yes, at the same time, the construction industry is growing. Every year, they say that 5 to 8% growth in the construction industry. And next 20 years, definitely this will be going on increasing to the 100 billion square foot per year, they say. So when there is, if we take at least the 5% of this construction is going green, they would require the consultants or they require the service providers and professionals to implement these green buildings. And according to the surveys in the market, they say that every year there is a requirement of 1 lakh trained green building professionals. So when we talk about green building professional, it's not just about the architects who are going to design it. It's about the engineers, structural engineers. It's about the green building consultants, or it's about the mechanical HVAC consultants, even at the developer stage or the government, when they have these policies on smart cities and all, they require the professionals to be there. And even in the manufacturer industry, they require a sustainability expert. So if you see all as in a demand, there is a 1 lakh trained professionals required for every year. So as there is a requirement with that vision, so IGBC has established a green education program where with a vision of to enable the to have the largest pool of trained professionals in the country. And also another main objective is to have the linkage between the industry as well as the institutions. Moving forward, so we would like to next. So whoever is taking part of the green education, so the key benefits to the students are they get accreditation as IGBC AP associate. They get exposure to the green concepts in design, construction, and maintenance, site visits, and new trends and technologies. And also, as because when you become professional, your client might ask about getting green building implementation and certification. So you will have exposure to the rating system as well. So as you are having accreditation, additional qualification, so it also adds on to your curriculum that your CV or your profile that you are an AP associate, you have a good opportunity for the placement in the industry as well. how we are taking this green education, we have developed as a course, as a semester course. So many colleges and institutions are taking it as a course as part of their semester itself, as part of curriculum elective course. So 45 hours program we have developed, and all the focus areas which I have indicated are taken as part of this curriculum. We have developed a booklet as well. It's a book textbook we have publication by IGBC, so people can have that as a resource material as well. Next one. So even institutions and the faculty will have a benefit. So we have an industry academia linkage, and we are going to have the capacity building of the faculty, and also even the faculty are getting accredited as IGBC accredited faculty. Next. So how we are taking the methodology? So we are tying up with the educational institute. We are training the faculty, because we are just few 30-40 engineers and architects. We can't go to the every college. So we are training the faculty. These faculty can train their students as a semester course. So, but in between, whenever they want expert talks or the webinars or site visits and all, IGBC will facilitate them. And after taking the course, students will take our online exam, and they get accredited as IGBC AP associate. So that is at the college level. So sometimes every college has their own policies and all. So if it is taking much time to get into the curriculum, so we are also doing online courses every month. So it's a 10 days, 2 weeks online program. So even students can participate in this. We do it in evenings so that their college doesn't affect. Between 4 to 7 we do. So students can take this online course, and all the aspects are covered here as well, and they can take the online exam. And yes, AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, and even the Council of Architecture has recognized us. We have signed an MOU with them, and we are doing regular faculty development programs also along with the AICT. And this is again online program, and faculty are getting trained and they're getting accredited. Next slide. So here I would like to hand over to Asla. So as I've given you the brief about how the movement has come up, and about the even education and all. So she would be continuing with the concepts on green buildings for a certain time. Over to you, Asla.
Thank you, Rekha ma'am. Thank you for giving an insight so precisely on green building and what can be the green building concepts. Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. So before we move to the green building concept, I would like to go to what Rekha ma'am has already explained. Like, green building is already a holistic approach that leads to sustainable development. So this concept has been taken from the 5 elements of nature. Okay, so one is Prithvi, that is ma'am already explained like how we select a site, how do we the site selection and planning. And second is taken from Jal, that is water, the water conservation. So since it is an holistic approach, it adds on to site selection and planning, water conservation, fire, that is energy efficiency, Vayu from air, indoor air quality. So indoor environmental quality, it is very important to maintain a good environmental indoor environment quality to call a building green. So the 6th one is Akash sky, that is daylight and night sky pollution. So let's move on to few green building concepts. So also I would like to know from the students, how what is your perspective from a green building? How is a conventional building different from a green building? Any one of you, can anyone initiate on this? Anyone, if you want to like write in the chat box, or okay. So green building, it also conserves natural resources, use less water, optimizes energy efficiency, and it generates less water, less waste, and provides healthier space. So for a green building is different from conventional building. So how it is different from a conventional building? It also uses less lights. It creates less water, less waste. And for a green building, when we talk about the water consumption, for a green building, 45 liters of water that is required per person per day, and this is for a conventional building. And for a green building, only 30 liters of water is required by per person per day. So there are different parameters which is added to a green building, and water, like there are faucets that uses less water. There are certain aerators that are provided in that faucets. So this is how water, they create less waste and less water usage. So this is the holistic approach. Like they are improving on the indoor air quality, energy, materials, and what type of material they are using in the whole building, how they're conserving water, and what are the different concept of site selection and planning. This is the holistic approach when we call it a green building. So there are cities that are going green. These are certain greenfield cities like Dholra, Gujarat. So it is already a IGBC platinum rated building. Sri City, Andhra Pradesh, this is IGBC Gold. Amaravati, New Town, Kolkata. GIFT City, that is again in Gujarat. Mahindra, this is under assessment. So Mahindra Industrial Park, Tamil Nadu, this is already under assessment for it being called as a green building. Then Shendra Bindikin and Mahindra Industrial Park. So we have around 5,40,620 acres of large development under green building. So let's move on to the different concept of a green building, soil erosion control. So when we call, what do we mean by soil erosion control? So this is how we are controlling the soil stabilization by planting trees, vegetation, and there are different techniques. Like when we are there's ongoing construction on site, there are certain techniques like wheel washing before entering the site. So this is how we are controlling the soil erosion. Also, the topsoil is covered with temporary covering, and topsoil is covered with temporary seeding. So there are several techniques. These are several techniques to control the soil erosion. And this is the sedimentation control. So earth dikes are made on the construction site, silt fencing, they are made on this construction site. Like there are fences that are provided on the construction site. This is a very basic and common sense techniques that has been adopted in some of the construction site. So there are earth dikes that are made. Earth dikes are made to prevent the prevent the water conservation. So for the water conservation, and there are certain pools that are made for collecting of water. So these are the sedimentation basin, and the sedimentation traps are made on the construction site. So these are the certain techniques, soil erosion techniques. This is one of the concept. And when we talk about the natural topography conservation, then it comes like on ground, this is again divided into two: on ground and overbuilt structure. So when we talk about the on-ground natural topography conservation, like it retain natural topography. How do we retain a natural topography? By designing vegetated spaces on the ground. This is one of the example of New Moti Bagh. This is a site in New Delhi that is retaining existing vegetation. So for calling a building a green site or green building, so it is very important to retain the existing vegetation. And since we are already depleting our natural ecosystem, so this can be one of the measures that can be included. Then this is a CII Sorabji Green Building District, Hyderabad, that ma'am has already shown. This is again designed very beautifully and by retaining the existing vegetation. This is one of the example of a design vegetation roof garden. So this is how we retain the existing vegetation by restoring the disturbance overall. This overall build structure, how it is restored by restoring the disturbed site area by designing vegetated space over build structure and on ground. So let's move on to the next slide. This is the heat island reduction roof. So what do we mean by heat island reduction roof? So ma'am has already shown you one example of biophilic modules, solar panel modules. There are two types of modules, solar panel modules. One is monofacial and biofacial. So when we talk about the biofacial modules, these are one of the solar panel modules that are helping in energy conservation. So what we do is we use this high SRI index roof tiles or paints that are used on the roof. So they reflect the heat, and these panels, solar panels, they absorb the heat, and then they convert it into energy. These SRI, this is a option one, high reflective paints that are used on the roof. They install high SRI material to cover the exposed roof areas. So this is how these reflective paints are used in green buildings to. This is one of the concept. Option two is vegetative roof. We install vegetation to cover the exposed roof areas. This is one of the example of the roof that is on Kohinoor Hospital, Mumbai. Okay, this is one of the example where high SRI solar refractive index. So this is used on the roof of Raheja Vista. So when we talk about the SRI, solar refractive index, so this is one of the calculation to understand roof overall capacity to refuse the solar heat. Okay, so it is very important to understand when we are selecting a high reflective roof cooling, that will help lower the energy cooling cost. So creating to reject high SRI, what they do is these high SRI, when they go greater the ability of coating to reject the solar heat absorption. So option three is to install high reflective material and vegetation to cover the exposed roof. This is one of the example of roof garden in Hotel Leela Palace. So this is how these heat island reduction works. And these are the three R's that helps in reduce. One is recharge rainwater harvesting system. Second is reduce water efficient fixtures, and third is reuse wastewater reuse. So when we are talking about the holistic approach, then these are the three parameters that comes under the holistic approach to call up building green. How we are harvesting these rainwater. We have already seen on site how during the construction we are harvesting this rainwater by making earth dikes, also by making sedimentation pits, and these earth dikes. So how are we reducing water efficient fixtures? Though there are many fixtures that we are using, these are low flow fixtures. These what they do is they use less amount of water to accomplish every activities. Like low flow fixtures can reduce water usage by as much as 60% over standard fixtures. So this is when we talk about the water efficient fixtures that are used in the green building. And when we talk about the reuse, wastewater reuse, so there are certain techniques that use wastewater. So these are the four R's this is the waterless urinal. When we talk about the water efficient fixtures, that means refuse like waterless urinal. There are certain urinal that are designed this way. So rainwater harvesting, when we talk about the rainwater harvesting, what do we mean by rainwater harvesting? By collecting water in a water body or pond, and by storing these waters in a storage tank. Recharge, that is there are percolation pits that are designed. There are bore wells that are designed to as a recharge pit. When we talk about the water efficiency, so this is again I'm coming back to that R where we are reducing the use of water that is used in our daily life. For example, when I talked about the conventional building, for a conventional building, when we say 45 liter of water is used by per person per day, but in a green building, same green building, 30 liter of water is used by per person per day. How? We are using low flow fixtures. We are using the concept of aerators and sensor based fixtures. So these aerators, what are these aerators? These are used on the surface. These are the screens on the faucets called aerators. These are the pieces and levels other than particles from getting into the water. So these are helping in providing the less flow of water and with the less pressure. So these are the low flush fixtures, dual flush fixtures, sensor-based urinal, waterless urinal. These are certain types of urinal that are used in green buildings. So these are helping to reduce the flow of water and use less amount of water when we are using these urinals and flush tanks. So there are certain landscape. This is landscape design. So there are certain these water absorption plant, like drought tolerant plant, what we call exactly cactus family, palm family. So when we are designing our building, when we are designing a site, So these are certain type of species that we use that are drought tolerant, like cactus family, according to the according to the local climate and the climatic features. So these are certain type of plants that are used on site. So again, not only this, there are many other that are used according to the local climate and the site features. So okay, so when we talk about this energy management, we also talk about the efficient envelope, good HVAC systems, passive architecture elements, or an alternative energy system. So if we'll go into each one of them, I might take some more time. So let's be precise. There are certain efficient envelope. Also, we already know there are many the two types of techniques, certain passive techniques and active techniques when we are going to design a green building. So there are efficient envelope that are using light in a way, and there are good HVAC systems, there are passive architecture elements and alternative energy system, how renewable energy is used, how the solar energy is being converted into this energy. So there are sustainable material, like how we are using reusing the materials on site, how the building is using the material, how we are restoring our environment, reuse of salvage material, like salvage material, for example, there are certain when we are restoring a site, how we are restoring the material that was already there on site, like there are certain doors, windows, and certain other elements that are we as an architect reuse on the site. And materials, they are materials with recycled content, they are local material and regional material, how as an architect we are approaching to our local material and regional material instead of going outside, somewhere outside, and how we are using wood based material. So there are also automated solid waste management building level. This is again a different topic when we come talk about the green building, how we are segregating the waste at the room level in hospitals, how we are segregating these waste in at the room level only. So this waste second step requires a pneumatic tube front end system at each ward. So how they are collected, these waste are collected and sent to the authorized vendor. So these, as these waste causes very release very harmful gases, so how we are segregating these waste inside a building, and then these wastes are collected and sent to the authorized vendor. This is one of the process that we follow in the green building. So again, so when we talk about the Green Pro certified, these are the certain products and materials that are called Green Pro certified. There are around 26,000 plus products that are certified, and 150 plus companies are registered under these Green Pro certified, and 26 sectors are covered under this. So these are called Green Pro certified materials that are used under the green building. Again, what are these green products and materials? Green products should have minimal environmental impact in its entire cycle. And these life cycle include raw material manufacturing, from their manufacturing to the user phase and the end of life management. These are called the green products and materials that are used in a green building. So when we talk about the factors that are affecting the indoor environmental quality, these factors, how they are affecting the indoor environmental qualities, the air quality in the indoor environmental qualities, the type of paints we are using, VOC paints, volatile organic compound. So the paint that we are normally using in a building, we don't even think about how harmful these paints can be. So there are certain VOC paints, low VOC paints that are used when we are planning to design a green building. And how we are controlling our indoor environmental quality, we are keeping a regular check. There are certain CO2 sensors that are installed in a building. So what they do, they keep a monitor the check on the quality of the material, quality of the environment inside the building. And so this is how the whole building green building concepts run. Okay, so to sum up, these green building, what they do, this is an excellent opportunity to reduce operating costs from day one, and that there are tremendous benefits for the society, to the society and the nation. How we as a student, how we as an architect can be a beneficial asset to the society. So there are certain tangible benefits that are quantifiable and measurable. Like we are reducing operating costs, we're reducing the optimized life cycle economic performance. So there are certain buildings that are called green building because they are saving energy from a traditional building comparatively from 30 to 50%. And they're also saving water from 20, in comparison to the traditional building from conventional building from 20 to 30%. So there also reduction the initial investment. So this is how the technology and this wider technology, the dynamic technology and the superior concept is used in the green building. And it also offers an enormous opportunity for the students. And it is also a sense of pride and contribution to the society. So this is how the whole process run, and how the green building and the IGBC is helping in to be a beneficial asset to the society. Okay. This is all what I have for today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Asla and Sridhar.
Yes, sir.
We have a few questions here.
Yeah.
Probably you can try and close your presentation, and we can take up the questions. I think there's one particular specific question. He says he's talking about the coastal roads that are being developed. Like in Mumbai, I see quite a number of people are talking about it and how these coastal roads impact the coral development or whatever the marine life which is going to happen, which is impacted by these developments. So what are the steps taken to make these projects more environment friendly and increase of awareness of the same? This is, I don't know if it comes within your purview. If you can, share some thoughts on it, will be good.
Sure. So, yeah, in fact, that's a very good question. See, as part of the green buildings or the sustainability, when we talk about, definitely maintaining the ecology, the ecosystem is one of the topic we talk in site planning and management. So yes, the marine life, or you're talking about the development in the Mumbai or the coastal lines, they have multiple challenges there. So whenever we take a site, what we indicate as part of development, and this urban cities are increasing, they're getting into other parts also, they're converting the lands. Even a lot of places it happened that agricultural lands are getting converted to the commercial or residential sector and all. So in that cases, we are saying when you're in that site, do not completely demolish or completely disturb your site. So try to identify such a natural terrains or certain part of the site can be retained leather. For example, even within our project, though we had 5 acres of land, of course, not every project will have that luxury, but when we had that land, we tried to disturb only 2 acres area, and 3 acres area have been undisturbed and kept like that itself. So we have the existing trees, rocks, and the ecosystem is not completely disturbed in that site. So we are not completely eliminating it and trying to retain it. And when it comes to the projects where they have very less site area and how they can do that. So in that case, we are asking to restore. So after completing your construction, you can have the more vegetation, try to have the mixed species, try to have not only the vegetation, you can have even the water bodies, can try to have your passive system also, it can contributed to. And also you can have when you have mixed species as part of your vegetation, native species especially, lot of birds or butterflies get attracted to your site, so that habitat restoration can happen because of this vegetation, and trying to have the softscapes as part of your area. And if you have less less open area left out, it's not restricted to ground. So with the current trends and technologies, we have over the roof or the vertical walls, even different trends and technologies are coming, so that we can get into more vegetation and attract that habitat to our sites.
Now, there's another question from one of our friends here who participated.
Yeah.
They're talking about the what is the validity of accreditation given by IGBC to any particular building? Is there a life cycle assessment happening, or is performance parameters are being looked at? So how often do they visit the buildings to see whether these buildings are actually performing, or if there any rectification that is going to be suggested by IGBC?
Yeah. So thank you for that. In fact, this is also a most frequently asked question to us. So there are two parts I'll take in this, because since they said accreditation as a word, so there are two things. So we give certification to the building, accreditation to the professionals. So when you talk about, as the sir was also indicating about the building validation, how it is taken and all. So initially, when we started the movement, we didn't had the validation, but because we wanted to be more encouraged and volunteer program. But over the years, we saw that, and the buildings were not able to perform better. And there was also demand from the clients, means the developers clients who were occupying those buildings. They were saying we are not able to completely, we are not reaping that benefits and all. So for that, yes, IGBC has come up with a validity for the certification we are giving. For the smaller scale building typologies, we are saying 3 years is a validity. So every 3 years, the building has been re-verified. And one of the unique process of the green building certification, what IGBC does is, we do the physical audit of every building we are certifying. So we go in there and see whether the project is has implemented the measures, or what are the additional, we handhold them, what are the additional things they can add on by simple things which they can do. So that this physical audit helps the project and also IGBC to verify they have implemented or not. And even the project gets benefited, yes, what are the things they can implement and maintain, how they can maintain. So every 3 years, this is a validation. So there is a regular performance monitoring of the project. And for the built environment, that is larger scale projects like townships and cities, we take it for 5 years validity, so that they can come up and they're maintaining it and sustaining them. And in the second part of accreditation of professionals, right now there is no validity. So it's only the credential subject we are trying to take, especially for students now who are taking the green education program. They will be accredited as IGBC AP Associate. So this accreditation we are giving based on, of course, they're clearing the exam, so they know that knowledge and all. So this AP Associate, we can upgrade them after 2 years of work experience. They show that they have been part of the any project, and they're trying to implement the green building measures or even the certified projects and all. So based on the credentials, we can upgrade them IGBC AP Associate to IGBC AP after the 2 years. For APs, there is no validity. They can keep on improving. They can be part of the awareness sessions. They can do the trainings and more green building projects.
So there is no CPD points or anything, CPD system for the APs.
That's what I'm saying. So the credential systems are mostly for AP associates. Right now for APs, it is not there, but they're in talks again. Few of the members and the industry stakeholders are saying that we should introduce the credential system. Right now, it's under process. It's not implemented yet.
Okay. So there's another question. I think probably this is a last question.
Yeah.
Does IGBC teach a comprehensive life cycle analysis using energy plus data and standard international material data as a part of the course?
Yes, as part of our green education program, there are multiple courses we are doing. The main course is on the course on green built environment, where we cover all the green building concepts and what are in each category, what are they have to implement, and various case studies they have gone through. There is also another course where we take exclusively on the building energy simulation and the tools. So where the way we talk about this energy place and even the lighting simulation, the tools, how they can be used for getting into the green building. So there is various sessions we have done, because within that 25 hours program, I'll be again not get into detailed concept. Tools, handling the tools or ECBC compliance itself, again, there is another course. There are multiple courses we are offering. According to the requirement, they can definitely take it.
Wonderful. And I think the whole idea of educating the faculty, especially the architecture faculty who are dealing with environmental studies or climate-based architecture studies, it's a wonderful initiative. And I think almost every group which is part of the research clusters who deal with environmental design and engineering should undergo these courses and constantly upgrade them with their add-on CDPs, which is being constantly, this knowledge keeps on upgrading every time. And also we need to place ourselves in the global level. And both of you have been wonderful speakers, and I think my students and many of those participants would have definitely be beneficial. And I will definitely love to have you guys again at some point of time. And I want Divesh Rai to deliver his vote of thanks, and wonderful having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You have to unmute.
Hello, ma'am. I would like to take a bit of a time and would like to thank Sri Rekha ma'am and Asla ma'am on the behalf of everyone in this session for such an informative and intriguing lecture you gave us. You gave us a glimpse of the Indian scenario in green building and the working of IGBC, which I am quite sure some of us might be thinking as that about as a career option in this area. Thank you both, Asla ma'am and Sri Rekha ma'am, for taking this lecture. And I would also like to thank our Professor Jaffer sir, for without you, this lecture would not have been possible. And thank you everyone for attending this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So thank you all. Thank you once again for this opportunity.
So I
have indicated my email ID in the chat box. So if anyone has queries, they can write to us. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.